Thank you.
They earned it after that performance in the semifinals. We start with the breaking news out of the NFL. The Vikings have fired GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah after just giving him an extension last offseason. Minnesota finished 9-8 this season, missed the playoffs. Keep in mind, last offseason, the Vikings didn't bring back Daniel Jones, didn't bring back Sam Darnold, and J.J. McCarthy struggled to stay on the field. You're tied to your quarterback as well as your draft picks. For much more, senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler joining us now. What more can you tell us about this decision by the Vikings, especially the timing of it now?
Yeah, Kevin, multiple factors. The quarterback plan ultimately did not work. Tried to re-sign Sam Darnold, didn't get him. Re-signed Daniel Jones, didn't get him. Aaron Rodgers wanted to play there, didn't get him. They hedged their bets on J.J. McCarthy, who right now it looks like that was a miss. So where are they going in that position? Somebody had to take the fall. They were heavy on free agency and a lot of spending at other positions. Decent results, ultimately not great. I was told Adofo-Mensah was not blindsided by this. He knew that the results probably weren't good enough that maybe he would have to take the fall here. So there were also some power dynamics in play between himself and Kevin O'Connell, the head coach. There were at least some whispers of that in the building. Remember, this is somebody with a non-traditional football background, not a scouting background, more analytics. My sources believe that he was never truly accepted there from day one.
Keep it.
Have fired their GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. They fired him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not surprised. This is the same Minnesota Vikings team that got rid of Sam Darnold after he started them off 14-2 before nosediving in the regular season finale against the Detroit Lions last year, and then dropping from a 1 seed to a 5th seed because he didn't win the division title, and as a result had to go up against the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs, or the wild card playoff game, where the Minnesota Vikings only scored 9 points. Sam Darnold got sacked 9 times, committed 2 turnovers, and they got shellacked by the Los Angeles Rams at that particular moment in time. And then you decide to go away from him and to let him walk away and go to the Seattle Seahawks for a $100 million deal, about $33 million a year. And what you say is, we're going to place our faith in J.J. McCarthy. We're going to place our faith in J.J. McCarthy. Now, that makes absolutely no sense in my mind, simply because J.J. McCarthy was drafted, I believe it was 10th overall. He was drafted as a rookie, and when he was drafted out of Michigan after winning a national championship, he immediately was out for the year before a game was played because he had a meniscus tear in his knee. And when that injury was suffered, that's when you basically gave the realm, to Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold got at them the 14-2 record last year. Why? McCarthy hadn't performed in the NFL. He had performed in college. And why, before he took an opportunity to really, really prove himself, would you let Sam Darnold walk out the door and rely on a rookie when your wide receivers is Justin Jefferson and Addison? Let's not forget him. And Hawkinson, your tight end. When you've got those kind of weapons, you can't sit up there and rely on a rookie behind the center, which is essentially what J.J. McCarthy was. Unless he's so spectacular, it's can't miss. But the Minnesota Vikings went in a different direction, and now the Seattle Seahawks, benefiting off of the superb play of a Sam Darnold, who was like 29-4 over the last 2 years against everybody in the National Football League outside of the Los Angeles Rams, who he's now 2-3 against because he smoked them in the NFC Championship game by throwing for nearly 350 yards with 3 touchdowns. When you see something like that happens, you're like, how the hell they got that quarterback? How did we let that walk out the door? How did we not see that that's not a decision that we needed to make? That's why Adofo-Mensah lost his job. I don't care what anybody says. You can't make a decision like that when Justin Jefferson, an all-world receiver, is reduced to looking average because people can't get him the ball. You can't do that. But the Minnesota Vikings did it. And that's why, as a result, their GM is now out of a job. There's no way to slice it. You can look at it any other way you want to. When you got that kind of talent, you can't afford. You just cannot afford to miss out on that and to lose that. You just can't. I don't care what anybody says. That's what happened to the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, quarterback whisperer, let's hold off on that. He's a hell of a coach. Quarterback whisperer, let's hold off on that. At some point in time, we just got to look at things for what it's worth. And we got to understand what we're looking at here. And I look at the Minnesota Vikings because every time I think about Sam Darnold, I'm like, listen, I have my reservations about Sam Darnold. To some degree, I still do. But I got news for you. It's not going to be in favor of J.J. McCarthy. What the hell was that about? That's what we really, really have to look at. There's no way around it. You got Jordan Addison. You got Justin Jefferson. You got T.J. Hawkinson. How do you let a quarterback walk out the door for a rookie that didn't do a damn thing in the NFL yet? I was on the air months ago saying that Justin Jefferson should ask to be traded because of the stupidity of that move. But ultimately, that brings us to Sam Darnold, because when we look at Sam Darnold in this football, in this year's playoffs, and the way that he has played in a 41-6 rout of the San Francisco 49ers, in a thriller, 31-27 against the Los Angeles Rams, and what they were able to pull off, and how the way he played. You saw it, 346 yards per pass and 3 touchdown passes. Sam Darnold has proven he's been able to fling the football. And if you remember when he was a New York Jet his first 3 years, you had the GM Douglas at the time saying, it's not about him, it's about us. He could be a star in this league. It's really us and what we don't have. That's what he said about Sam Darnold. And now here the man is in a Super Bowl, on the verge of winning a Super Bowl championship. And this morning on television, I was asked the question, well, who's under the most pressure? I mean, who are we looking at in terms of producing? Is it Drake May or is it Sam Darnold? I actually said Drake May. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like the way Drake May has really, really looked during the playoffs. He's been sacked 15 times, 5 times each of the 3 playoff games. He's had 6 turnovers. He's completing less than 60% of his passes, and is only averaging 178 yards per game passing. That's nothing to write home about if you're trying to win a Super Bowl championship. That ain't going to cut it against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm here to tell you that right now. The suspense goes right out the window. Drake May don't play better. He ain't more potent offensively. The Patriots ain't more potent offensively with Boutte and Diggs and the crew. You ain't winning. It's that simple. And when we look at the New England Patriots and we say, well, you know what? The defense is elite. They're only giving up. I mean, damn, what is it, 10, 12 points a game? Let me remind you, they went against the San Diego Chargers team missing 2 of their offensive linemen. They went against a Houston Texans team who was considered anemic offensively to begin with. Plus, they had to go into the game without Nico Collins. And also, your tight end, Schultz, got hurt in the second quarter. And then in the AFC Championship game, a damn blizzard came down in the second half. So all those things considered, you had a lot going for you. You combine that with the fact that you're the New England Patriots and you had the weakest schedule, the softest schedule of any team in the National Football League since the year 1999. When the Los Angeles Rams had a weak schedule and they ended up going, you just look at it. Patriots they've benefited tremendously. But now they're going up against a Seattle team who's arguably the most complete team in football, who, by the way, has a very elite defense that happens to be ranked number 1, better than Los Angeles, better than Houston, better than Denver. So what you going to do now? You got to be able to score. And if you don't do that, I got news for you. It's not going to be well. It's not going to bode well.